What's up, everybody? My name is David from Bald Guy Media, bringing you franchises kickoff to Week 1 podcast. Thursday Night Football, we have the defending champions Baltimore Ravens taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Two great teams, a great matchup. But are the Cowboys, who they always are, they just beat up on the bad teams and really can't win against teams that are playoff Super Bowl contenders? Well, they have that to prove here. They still got most of their team intact, and they face off against Baltimore, who have pretty much the same team, but Lamar Jackson has a new rookie that is their third wide receiver, but you should see a good amount of run. Brian Thomas Jr., he's 6'4", he's a big dude, and he's fast. So is that the weapon that really takes this Baltimore to the next level, to where they are defending Super Bowl champions that defend their Super Bowl title and win it 2 years in a row? It's been quite a while since we had back-to-back winners in the Super Bowl. Now let's get to the Sunday games. All right, so the 1 o'clock games start with the Commanders at the Browns. Justin Fields' debut on his new team, along with Mike Gesicki making his debut, and rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy, super fast. Can this offensive crew really take a step forward here? They are an improved team for sure. And can they prove it in Week 1 at the Browns for Nick Chubb's return from injury? They have a beast of a wide receiver starting for them, Emeka Egbuka. I guess that's how you say his name. He's a freak. And the only problem with them is they have two rookie starters at linebacker, which are both under 70 overall. So that could be a problem for this Browns defense. Also, the Commanders look like they're running a Philly type offense for Justin Fields, and their defense is looking like a spinoff of the Chiefs defense. It's a copycat league, and everyone wants to copy off what is working in the NFL, and it looks like the Commanders are going to pull from the Philadelphia tree and the Kansas City tree on defense. Speaking of the Eagles, they travel to one of our franchise-focused teams, the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers will be running a run-and-shoot offense, and the Atlanta Falcons defense playbook for defense. Of course, the Eagles, what do they do without Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey? They really didn't replace them in the draft or in free agency at all, but both of those guys retired, so Eagles are pretty much the same except for those two. So are their replacements, which aren't very highly rated, good enough to get them back to the Super Bowl for a third year in a row? Of course, there's Bryce Young. Is he improved now with a new coaching staff? And an interesting thing about their offense is that they will have 4 wide receivers on the field a lot of times. And how improved is their defense? They brought back Jeremy Chin, and they added a few pieces here and there. So their defense was already pretty much the strength of their team, and has that improved? We will find out at 1 o'clock on Sunday. The next game at 1 p.m., we have a premier matchup. This might be the best game for the 1 p.m. games. Both teams are franchise-focused teams. You have the LA Chargers traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chargers are running the Chargers offense. We want to keep the offense the same for their quarterback, and the Ravens defense of playbook. And then the Bengals will be running the Bengals offense. Joe Burrow wants to stay in the same offense. See no reason to change. Keep him with what's familiar. And then they will be running the Chiefs defense. So can Trayvon Henderson replace Eckler? That's a key question we have going into Week 1. Of course, they have to replace Keenan Allen. Can they do that with who they've drafted already? And how well is their totally revamped D-line going to play, especially without no Khalil Mack at linebacker, but they have all free agents at their both D-end spots and D-tackle spots. So how well does that improve? Then you have Joe Burrow. Can we get a full season out of him for once? And how do we replace Higgins and Boyd with O'Dunes and Johnny Wilson? And how much better do they play now that they have a brand new offensive line pretty much across the board? Um, we look to see if those questions are answered at the beginning of week 1. Then the Colts travel to Tennessee. Anthony Richardson, can he finally develop and stay healthy and get a full year in his second season? The Titans are going to be running an air raid offense, the air raid playbook, and the Atlanta defense. This is Jaden Daniels' debut. He has a lot of weapons, including many veterans and Keenan Allen, who primarily play the slot with T. Higgins on the outside, and Kentajay Spears fully replaced King Henry's absence. They're an improved team, but how much have they improved? Can they overtake the Texans for the top spot in the division, going from the bottom of the division to the top of the division? And that question will be answered starting with week 1. Next, we have the Falcons traveling to the Saints. Neither of these are franchise-focused teams. Can Ritter get his weapons the ball? Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. He's still the guy in Atlanta, so what can he do to elevate this team? Is he the guy? Is this the last year for him? And then the Saints are an aging team, but it is Malik Neighbors' debut. And what can he do for them to go along with Derek Carr and the rest of that offense? So the Dolphins travel to New England to take on Jack Asher and the new look Patriots. A Patriots team without a legendary head coach in Bill Belichick. They'll be running a balanced offense, and the Ravens defense, this is Drake May's debut. Is he the next Tom Brady? Many people have this question. The Dolphins are relatively the same team, except they added a rookie tight end sensation, Tavion Sanders, and that is his debut. What kind of impact does he make with what the Miami Dolphins already have at wide receiver? Then the Bears travel to Detroit. The Bears, who have really been the talk of the offseason the last 2 years with having the number 1 overall picks. This time they now have Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. They will be the most sought after rookies probably in fantasy drafts, especially keeper leagues and not franchise, but what do you call it? Dynasty leagues. They will probably be at the top of everyone's draft board for dynasty leagues. And they will be running the Miami offense with the Chiefs defense. And they go to the Lions, who are pretty much the same, but they added Amari Cooper to go alongside the Sun God. So their secondary is still an issue. Is Avonte Maddox and the return of Jeff Okudah enough for Detroit to get to the promised land and meet expectations of what they're expected? They have a great offense, but still their defense, especially their secondary, is lacking. The last of the 1 o'clock games, we have the Bills at the Jets. Same old Bills. Are their safeties a liability with the amount of speed they have there? And then you have the Jets, pretty much the same old Jets as last year. 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers, can he get this team to the playoffs? Their offense is very mid, but what can rookie Dallas Turner do to this defense? Can they be the shutdown defense that many think that they can be? We'll find out beginning with week 1. All right, so the Jags travel to the Vikings for the first of the 4:05 games. Is Trevor Lawrence a bust? Many say he is for where he was drafted number 1 overall. He is yet to really take them to the heights that people have expected him to take them. And then also Minnesota. This is Austin Eckler's new home. Are there enough balls to go around for all these weapons, including rookie tight end sensation Brock Bowers, who many were scratching their heads at the Minnesota Vikings for selecting in the first round of the playoffs. The second of the 4:05 games, we have the Giants traveling to Pittsburgh. Michael Penix Jr. has seemingly won the job over White Vic, Daniel Jones. Also, Khalil Mack, what does he do to this defense? Does he elevate it? Are they a bottom dweller in the NFC East, or are they a playoff team, possibly a wild card contender? Then the Steelers are still rocking with Kenny Pickett. How is he still their quarterback? They have not addressed that issue. Derrick Henry, is he an upgrade at the running back position? And is this defense still any good? Are they just living on reputation? They have a high overall, but there are some players on that defense that are getting old, and their secondary can be questionable as slow. All right, so we have the Buccaneers traveling to the Broncos for the first of the 4:15 games. This is J.J. McCarthy's debut. Can he replace Baker Mayfield, who got this team back to the playoffs? Is this team a playoff team still with a third straight new quarterback? Harbaugh thinks that J.J. McCarthy is better than a lot of people. Is he right? We will find out starting in week 1. And how mid are the Broncos? I think their overall is a little misleading. I don't think they're as good as they are, but saddle up Broncos country or whatever the saying is. I am not expecting much from the Broncos this year, but they get a interesting matchup in the first week of the year with J.J. McCarthy as a rookie starting quarterback for a once Super Bowl contending team with a lot of those players still here. So the last game for 4:15 on Sunday is the 49ers at the Cardinals. Same old 49ers, pretty much the entire team, except they are missing Trent Williams. He is no longer there. He has retired. Are they the best team in the NFC? On paper, at least. Is it the Cowboys? Is it the Eagles? Maybe it's the 49ers. Can Brock Purdy take them to the promised land? And then you have the Cardinals, who are one of our franchise focus teams. They'll be rocking the Ravens offense and the Atlanta defense. Is Xavier Legette a freak? We hope to find that out week 1. He is a starting wide receiver. And how much has his defense improved? Are they good enough to come from the bottom of the division and knock off the team that won the division and pretty much won the NFC altogether? At least the best record in the NFC. So we look to see that at the end of the 4 o'clock games on Sunday. Sunday Night Football, Texans at the Packers. Can CJ Stroud improve anymore? Usually you see rookie quarterbacks take a big leap in their year 2, but CJ Stroud had such a big leap in year 1, it's hard to imagine he can get any better in his second year. Maybe he regresses, maybe not. We will see. It's a year-to-year, game-to-game league, and we look to see if CJ Stroud is the next big thing in the NFL. And he takes on Jordan Love, who has a mix of really young players on offense and some veterans on defense, but they have a lot of weapons that are growing together. Is Jordan Love good enough to get himself a big contract going forward? We will see. Monday Night Football kicks off at 7 p.m. with the Raiders at the Chiefs. This time the Raiders are now led by Baker Mayfield. Can he take another team to the playoffs? And that would be the Raiders against the same old Chiefs. It's the Chiefs, Andy Reid, Mahomes. That's enough said. They are the Chiefs. Their defense is a little bit weakened, but I expect that not to really matter when you have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid conducting this offense. And week 1 at 10:15 ends with the Rams at the Seahawks. Are there too many wide receivers in LA? They have a lot of veterans that have gone there. Quite the wide receiver crew. Can Stafford get back to the playoffs with this team? That remains to be seen. He's an aging guy. They have Bo Nix maybe waiting in the wings, but that is to be seen. And then you have Seattle. Can Geno Smith rebound from his season 2 years ago and get this team to compete for the division? It's pretty much the same team. So we will find out to end the week one, the opening week of franchises. All right, well, tell me who you're most interested in. The best matchup, I think, is our two franchises teams, the Chargers and the Bengals. That is a great storyline right there. Um, Give me your selections of who you think is going to win. Tell me who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, who's going to win each division. I love to hear your input on who you think is really going to take the NFL by storm. Will it be Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. going off on week one? Will they be the surprise? Who's going to be the rookie that really takes a step forward? Who's going to rebound? Is it the Bengals? Is it the Chargers? Is it just we're living in the Chiefs and the Ravens world and the Eagles and the 49ers? Like, are they just the four best teams? Or are we going to see new teams rise to the top this year? Please let me know what you guys think and how excited you are. The schedule goes as follows. The Thursday night game will drop. Then the following day will be all the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games. Then the Sunday night game, and then the two Monday night games are individual. So all the 1 o'clock games will have their video, and I'm going to tell you now what the surprise is. It's pretty much going to be like a red zone. You're going to see all the 1 o'clock games at one time simultaneously. You'll be cutting to when the teams are in the red zone, and then the same thing for the 4 o'clock games. That'll have their separate video. So you're going to see a lot of this, a lot of the franchises, play. Like, it's a slow sim league. So you're going to watch every game, not in its entirety, but for the most part. But every game will be played in slow sim. And I don't think there's anything like this on YouTube. And I can't wait to show you this. It's going to be a lot of work, as I said, but I'm super excited about it. So stick around because there's so much more to come. We're just getting started. I know I have a lot of videos out there. I'm just trying to give you the best idea of who's on who, what their overalls are, what their ratings are. And yeah, let's get this season kicked off.